Welcome to the KBB Review podcast. I'm Andy Davies and this is episode 9 of season 14. And I've been really looking forward to this episode as we're catching up with our adopted retailers. Now in the magazine every month we've been following the fortunes of 3 KBB retailers with 3 very different backgrounds, experiences and plans for the future. We last spoke to them here on the podcast back at the start of November, and I'll put the link to that episode in the description of this one. And now, 6 months later, we're here to see how they're getting on. And this is such a brilliant snapshot of what life at the coalface of being an independent KBB retailer is really like. And I know how much what they talk about in this conversation will resonate with so many people out there. We have Amanda Raine from the Leamington Kitchen Company in Leamington Spa. She and her husband Tom opened their dream showroom a year or so ago after leaving corporate jobs in construction and marketing. Then we have Joe Kardani from Point 5 Kitchens in London. They're a well-established retailer in Muswell Hill, but they're opening a second showroom in nearby Belsize Park. And last but by no means least is Olivia Weaver from Harrison James in Shropshire. Only in their mid-20s, she and husband Harry are just about to open their first showroom after expanding their installation business into retail. So my KBB Review colleague, George Dean, caught up with them last week to see how they're all getting on. But first, all this is made possible by our adopted retailer partner, Alku, the exciting new range of kitchen, bedroom and lifestyle furniture created with the designer in mind. We're delighted to have them on board for this, and you can actually find out more about them in a bonus episode coming out tomorrow, where I'm talking to Marketing Director Dan Hughes. In the meantime, everything you need to know about them, including how to become a dealer, is at alku.co.uk. That's alku.co.uk, and I'll put that link in the episode description too. So now, over to George and our adopted retailers.
Okay, so just to start, I thought we'd go around and have a little chat about how business is doing. So Amanda, do you want to kick us off with telling us how business has been for you over the past couple of months?
Yeah, we're starting to see a good steady flow through into our showroom now. We have opened at the end of August, so it's taken a bit of a while to kind of pick up some stamina, if you like. But yeah, word of mouth is spreading and we're getting a steady flow. It picked up before Christmas. We're a little bit worried that after Christmas things would slow down, but actually things have started to steady out. So we've had a good start to the year. Obviously, I think things will quieten down over the summer. But yeah, we've got some fantastic projects that we've been starting to get involved with. So yeah, really, really good.
Great stuff. And Joe, what about you? How's business been for you while you're juggling sort of doing the new showroom as well?
Really good, actually. Yeah, we're really busy. We've got a lot of jobs that have all come in at the same time, which is, I'm not complaining because we're busy, but it's had an effect on the new showroom that we are pause it just temporarily while we just get the jobs going and keep everyone happy. But we've got a lot of new customers coming in and a lot of existing jobs of all sorts of, the builds have all been a bit slow, hence everything's coming at the same time. But no, we're good at the moment.
Brilliant, always good to hear. And what about you, Olivia? How's business been for you?
Very similar to Joe. Obviously, we've only got the one showroom that we're still in process of doing at the moment. Same as Joe, we've kind of had to put that on the back foot a little bit. We've got 2 jobs on at the moment that are both quite large renovations. So obviously, as always, your own personal stuff goes on the back foot and customers always come first. So the showroom's coming along a little bit slower. We're hoping to be partly open end of April, start of May, fingers crossed. Everything going well, probably closer to the start of May. But yeah, other than that, business is doing okay. It is a bit of a difficult time at the minute with everybody, but we are still going through each day and getting new customers in and that, and we've got a few big jobs that are in the process of being done. So
it's tricky, isn't it? Because opening a showroom is as much of a full-time job as just running an existing showroom is, isn't it? So, it must be really tricky for you guys to balance that juggling act of, I want to keep my normal showroom running. And especially in your case, Joe, I know that, you've got your showroom open and then trying to open another one. It just sounds like more than a full-time job.
Actually, it hasn't been too bad, actually. It's been quite good. I think that the hardest part was getting all the design work done, getting all of that into place. Now all the orders have gone in, and we used to do quite a lot of renovation work, which we stopped doing now, but we've got our sort of guys that we can use. So actually, it's been quite controlled. It's been okay. So that the slowest part, which shouldn't be the slowest part, is actually fitting all the furniture and actually getting things up and running. But now we've actually got it to a stage where the shell's all complete and everything's ready. But now it's just us that are actually slowing the process down.
Because I know when we last spoke a couple of weeks ago, you were aiming ambitiously for a May opening. So do you think it's going to be pushed back a little bit more?
It was ambitious, yeah. I think we're going to, hopefully, we'll be end of June.
Well, I suppose if you rush it, it's never going to be what you want forever, isn't it? But a delayed showroom's still good eventually.
Yeah, and the thing is really also, especially in the area that we're opening, I think a lot of people will be away for summer. So actually, it gives us the opportunity to do a bit of a soft opening, make sure everything's perfect, and then actually have a proper opening evening and get everyone in once they're all back from summer holidays. Because that area will be quite empty. Belsize Park, I'm sure, will be quite quiet over the summer because everyone will be away.
I don't know if you found the same, but we found the biggest thing with us opening the showroom is we've got, for example, flooring upstairs that we've put in that I can no longer buy because certain places have gone bump, like International Decorative Services that have gone bump. We've changed kitchen suppliers, so the kitchen that's upstairs is also now void and we need to put a new kitchen in and things like that. We've got an upstairs and a downstairs because we're on a high street, so our main focus at the minute is we're leaving all of that and we're just trying to get downstairs open because we've rewired the whole property. We've had walls fall down, we've got an old building that we're trying to save, we haven't got like an industrial unit. We've just found that we've got stuff now that I can't get. So we're having to almost revamp stuff that we've only recently put in.
That's frustrating, yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely gutting, yeah. And you can't plan for that at all either, can you? You must just wake up some days and those obstacles come up. How do you plan to get around that? Because that's such a huge deal, isn't it?
We've found other suppliers obviously that we're using. So what we'll do is we're just going to plan to get downstairs done and finished. And then once downstairs is finished, we've got the potential of going into the building that's next door to us because our building are very funny laid out that actually the upstairs of our building is above them. So we've got the potential to go into them as well next door a little bit later down the line. So we'll have to kind of revamp the building again anyway. And we're such a small showroom that we're going to just have to have a constant change of displays anyway.
And speaking of changes, Amanda, you're not opening a new showroom, are you? But you've entered into this sector from a totally different one, haven't you?
Well, yeah, from the corporate side, I guess. So, yeah, doing it for ourselves has been quite different. We're facing the same challenges in that we already need to make a display change. And trying to work that out, fit that in, and who we're going to go with and all of that kind of thing is quite difficult. But yeah, I think it's a lot more kind of challenging being out there because you are being an independent, you really are independent. And I think that, like you say, Olivia, you have things that happen and suppliers that go bump and kind of leave you in the lurch. You kind of got to pick up the pieces yourselves to fix it, to try and find the resolution. And I think that when you're trying to approach, new suppliers for support and all of that kind of thing, when you haven't got the power, the buying power that you would have had as a bigger brand, it's definitely been a lot of learning, for me.
So when you say you're looking at new suppliers, is that the same case as Olivia, where it's a supplier that isn't in the market anymore?
No, it's just for a change of ranges, really. So we actually put a selection of ranges into the showroom, and one of them was a more kind of modern and affordable range, which we had hoped would appeal to certain customers that are looking for that. But actually, we've had no interest in it at all. So actually, when we're looking at that cost per metre in our showroom, it's not actually doing anything. Yeah, so it's a choice that we're making to make the display change, but not one that we had anticipated or budgeted for, definitely in the first kind of year. So yeah, brings its own challenge.
That's surely a good thing if people don't want the cheap stuff.
Yes, good problem to have, but everything was all done, and you know what it's like, when you finally
Yeah, you
finish.
don't want to have to change it.
You just want to sit there and relax for 5 minutes, have a cup of tea and be like, yes, it's all complete.
One of the hardest things is choosing what is going in the showroom because you want to appeal to everyone, but also, I don't know about you guys, but with us, we've got a certain look anyway. So is it hard to sort of make sure that you're going to keep everybody happy? But you never know really until you've put it all in.
Yeah, 100%. It's and also factoring in when you're going to make the change. So we were thinking, right, we need to do it over the summer when we're quieter, but actually aligning all of that is just, it never works out into plan, does it? So
if you had a time machine and you could go to any point in the year to sort of change displays, when do you think is the optimum time to do it, in your opinion? Because I know different retailers say different things based on where they are, so I'm just really curious.
Well, I would assume, and from my experience, I would say it's August probably, when, the end of the summer holidays, when everyone's away and it's kind of high street is quiet and people aren't looking to start projects. But I don't know about you guys, what you think.
No, I completely agree with you.
I mean, I would say naturally you'd say August, but it just depends how the work comes in and how many, if you have a big job on and it keeps the boys busy, because we find sometimes, in the summer you would get quiet, then you don't have that fitting, but it's keeping everyone busy. But from what we've done, because we've made changes in the current showroom before with it, what we've done is just book it in, and it just is what it is. You've got to book it in like a job, because if you don't book it in like a job, you'll just never do it.
I think January as well.
Yeah, January's always quite good.
January's quite a quiet
Yeah.
one. But I haven't got the luxury of what you've got, Joe, in a sense of you're a little bit more well established to us. So you've got fitters and things like that, whereas it's literally just us.
Yes, you guys. Yeah. Well, I think you'll get to a point where you need to change that.
So we're in the process of employing somebody now. But he only wants part-time because he's just had a baby. So it works quite well for us as well with that, because it's a start. So we are branching out. This week we've got an apprentice with us that
That's good.
we're looking at. He's not going to be ready until obviously September, but we always like to have a week or two that he comes out with us, or whoever that apprentice is will come out with us and spend some time, because this job isn't for everybody. It's a
No,
hard job.
It's good. I enjoy the fitting side of it, and I was fitting last Friday, but I don't really fit that much anymore. We've actually just got another new fitter now, so we've got two teams.
I was going to say, you're in a similar boat, aren't you, where you've recently taken at least one person on, and I think last time we spoke you said you were looking to take on at least
We've
one
just
more.
taken on someone else. Yeah, he's in the second week with us in the shop now. So there's 6 of us in the showroom now at the moment. But obviously we'll split that in half, so there'll be 3 in each showroom, and eventually get another one for each showroom. Because otherwise I don't think we'll be able to manage. That's provided the new showroom works as well as we hope it will.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And Olivia, you're in quite a similar boat to Amanda, aren't you, where you came from a slightly different corner of the industry, didn't you? So what are some of the things that you've learned?
So I've came from corporate as well. I worked with the Travis Perkins Group for nearly 10 years. I did it for quite a long time. Yeah, I'm finding the same as Amanda, not knowing what to put in the showroom in that sense, not knowing, I've got a small showroom. Not only that, but when you're changing suppliers, because you haven't got that relationship with them, building that relationship with them can always be very difficult. We do a lot of things on relationships. We have quite a few customers that have actually turned out to be quite good friends of ours now. Once again, because we're only so small, we really interact with our customers. And we found the same with reps. At the end of the day, a lot of the products can be the same. We don't manufacture our own like kitchens or anything like that, so we buy everything in. So a lot of the products are much of a muchness. There's a few obviously qualities with depending on who you go to. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for us is finding either what's going in the showroom or building them relationships with new suppliers and getting what we need.
Are they particularly open to working with sort of a new retailer like you?
Yeah, so we've had the 2 big suppliers that we use, like bathrooms and kitchens, have been really helpful. We've found some really good suppliers for us, and they help with the opening of the showroom and getting us off the ground, and even things like social media side of it. They share our posts and they work with us in that way, and even just coming out and giving us ideas. So yeah, we've like our kitchen that's going in downstairs, we've got a 3-toned kitchen because we've only got 1 kitchen going in. So we're almost putting 3 kitchens into 1 kitchen, and that was with the help of our rep saying, well, I know this and this work really well together, and maybe add this in as the island. And so yeah, they've been really accommodating and really helping us.
It's in their best interest, isn't it? It's in their
Yeah.
best interest.
We found some can be very difficult. Like we had one shower and tap manufacturer that I went to, sold them for years working within the Travis Perkins Group. And I said to them, I'd like to look at selling your stuff. I know your stuff's really good. And they were like, are you going to be selling like £100,000 a year? And I'm like, no, probably not, because I'm only a very small independent. And they were like, well, we won't do anything with you. And I thought that a couple of times about different manufacturers, that I'm like, well, I might not be now, but in 10 years' time, I might have 2 or 3 showrooms that I am.
So would that put you off, if you had a showroom empire of 5 or 10 showrooms, would that then put you off working with that supplier down the line?
if you can't help me now,
That's just
I'm
like
not going to.
me. I feel exactly the same. Yeah. I'll
I
remember
think
it.
some of them just aren't set up to deal with like smaller independents. They're just looking at the bulk orders, aren't they? And that's how their whole business is built, unfortunately, because you do come across a few like that. Obviously, we make all our own furniture, but the when we've met a lot of reps over the years and sort of thought about maybe doing some entry level stuff or stuff for developers. We never got involved with developers in the end. But all the reps that I met were certainly they were all really helpful. Obviously, we'll want to get a new business, but there's a lot of companies out there that are really good, I think.
I was going to say, you sound like you're talking from experience there.
Yeah, there is a lot of companies out there because through other kitchen retailers that we get on really well with who sell some of the sort of bigger brands and stuff. I've had chats with the reps because they're always trying to get us interested. To be honest, we it's not our market. We don't really want to be in that market, and we've even when we used to first get a developer in, your eyes light up and you start seeing all these numbers and stuff. And now if a developer walks in, I think completely opposite because they want everything for nothing. And it's not our market. We can't get down to those tiny margins. So we're just not interested.
I was just going to say, your business a lot better than they do, don't they? So
yeah, exactly. I mean, we've even had some developers that have walked in and introduced themselves as a developer rather than their names. And you're just like, well, you go away. Not interested.
So we just discussed a minute ago, Amanda, how you come from a totally different background, don't you? Do you think coming into this industry, it's what you expected it would be?
I think yes, it is. I think from my experience, as I said, I've came from the corporate side of things, so and more bathrooms than kitchens. But I think that the way that it works is very similar. I think it's just been more of a challenge. I have the same as Olivia, just being on the size that we are and the buying power that we have and the supplier support. I think that's been the biggest challenge. I think there's some things that I would have expected, from a marketing perspective, to be a lot easier than they have been, and some marketing support to have been a lot easier. But I think, yeah, you work ways around it, don't you? And you have to get yourselves out there. That's the main thing for me.
It's a massive learning curve.
I was going to say, I think you touched on it when you said when you're an independent, you really are an independent, aren't you? Even if you have really great suppliers,
Yes.
you're your best cheerleader at the end of the day, aren't you? It's all on you.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are some of the things that you found work quite well for small retail compared to your previous background?
The biggest surprise, well, not surprise, but the biggest focus has been around local marketing. So I think we did all the kind of, obviously all the basics of thinking we need a really good website, we need some social media presence. And I think actually honing it back into what you need to do locally to build your brand, to build your name across the community. And that's where we've put a lot of focus. So we've actually started running events from our showroom with other local businesses, some that may not have any connection to kitchens at all, but actually it's building that community, it's helping our name get out there. And we found that really, really beneficial so far.
That is a really good idea. We always had that in mind when we opened ours, and we made sure we had live kitchens in the showroom, and then we have events, and we always get the previous customers and the new customers in, and we do evening events and get a chef or something like that. And it's actually a brilliant thing to do because you become part of the local community then. And actually, there's nothing better than everyone talking about you after that event.
Yes.
And it's genuine organic interaction as well, isn't it? It's not something you've paid for on social media or, an SEO search online. That's real human people talking to other real human people.
There's nothing better than a recommendation from a past customer.
So you've been around quite a while, Joe, in this industry. So you must know more than most about the importance of having to change tack sometimes and being agile, especially sort of going from one showroom to another. So what are the things that you've learned in sort of the past couple of years as the industry's changed? Do you think people now have to sort of get a bit better at doing that than they perhaps used to do?
I don't know. That's a really tricky question, to be honest with you, because we're not as structured as we possibly should be. We're quite sort of organic. And we've kind of, most of our work is recommendation now. And I guess for me, it's about getting out there as well. And you tend to become quite insular after a while. And then you suddenly realise, hold on a sec, I need to see what everyone else is doing. I need to see what's going on. And I think a lot of the events where you can meet other independents and just it sort of takes some comfort from them saying the same things that you are, and you're not on your own. You're not the only one who's sort of struggling with one thing or another. And for us as well, it's about sort of keeping up with the trends, seeing what's going on. I mean, it is at expense, but we like going to Milan and seeing what's going on there. Real sort of try and be a bit design focused, because obviously we do make our own stuff. We can be a bit different. And I think that's what a bit of our IP is really, is that we try to be very different. Every kitchen's very different. All the details are very different. And for us, it's about sort of bringing that across. But definitely with the drawing packages that the guys use now and stuff like that, really, really helps. A massive selling tool. I used to do the drawings, and to be honest with you, I don't do it anymore, which saddens me a bit, but I just pitch in every now and then when I don't think something looks very good. But I think sort of all of these things together really, and it's just making sure that you're sort of on trend and you still know what's going on in the industry, because as I say, you can sort of work away yourself for ages and then suddenly realise that there's a lot of other things going on out there. I think sometimes it really helps for us to take a day out and go and look around, and actually sometimes you're not that inspired. You go into London and you see all the showrooms, and actually I think, well, actually what we're doing is really good, because I can't see anything that's really exciting me. Or sometimes you just see a little something or something new going on, and I guess that's really what it's about for us, is trying to be a bit different and sort of be on top of what's going on.
Because one of the things I hear a lot from retailers who have been in the industry for a long time is that they're genuinely surprised by how much faster things move now. And I know that's because of Instagram and Pinterest and things like that, making it a lot quicker for trends to come and go. But how do you reconcile that with trying to have a showroom with physical displays? Because obviously you can't take them out every time there's a new Instagram trend.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think a lot of these things tend to, with Instagram, I kind of find that a lot of these things, you get customers coming in with all these feeds and everything, but actually, it's well out of their comfort zones. They come in with all these massive ideas. They end up going back to what they're comfortable with a lot of the time, and they'll come to us because we're doing something that they're comfortable with in the first place, if that makes sense. You can show them and actually do the drawings for them, and then they can actually see, oh, hold on a second, in 2 years' time, we're actually going to be comfortable with that, going as crazy as that, or going as crazy on the worktop or the colour, and then they actually come back to a comfort zone. It's nice for us to do something different as well. We always try and push it a little bit and do something a bit more interesting, but they generally, I think, for things like, you've got all these sort of brasses and bronzes and things like that. I mean, we've had them in the showroom for years now, and I thought they'd have gone by now. We do the sprayed metal finishes and things like that as well, which we've got someone in this country that actually does it. We don't do it in our factory. And I thought they would have their day, but actually still people love that sort of thing. And actually, interestingly enough, I don't think the rest of Europe do. I think it's more just in England that those sort of metal finishes are still carrying on. There's not a call as much in Europe. Yeah, I think a lot of the Instagram things sort of come and go so quickly that actually, as long as you sort of stay true to what you're doing.
I'm not really big with the trends. As you said, they come and go quite quickly. A kitchen job that we're on at the moment, our customer's going for the brass fittings. She's gone for brass sockets, brass bezels, the lot. She's actually going for a burgundy and pink kitchen. It's really going to be a wow out there kitchen. It is, obviously we've got all the doors and everything. It's going to be beautiful. However, we always try and say to our customers, you're going to have this kitchen for 20 years.
I would say 10, then you get another one.
Well, yeah, maybe. But yeah, so we say to, like, if, especially the lady that we're working with at the moment, like, this is her forever home. She's not going to move from it. Hence why she's gone for the burgundy and pink. And we're like, this is your house. Don't follow trends. Make sure it's what you want. There's nothing worse than following a trend. Go for what you want. Go for your perfection, because it's your house. I don't care what you put in your house, because I'm not living in it. I'm not seeing it every day. It's not my house. You need to make sure that it's yours, and you have your spin and yours. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not one for comfort. I like to push people out of their comfort zones. I like to be like, go for your dream kitchen, because not many people do get to change their kitchens more than once. If you move into a house, a lot of people will keep their kitchens for 20 odd years. So you need to have good quality and what you want.
And speaking of talking to customers, obviously something you've had to do, as you've probably learned with a new showroom, is really start up your marketing from absolutely scratch, haven't you? So what are the ways that you've sort of tried to get the word out about your new showroom?
A lot of ours is recommendations. We're very fortunate that we've got some very good customers. We do try our best with social media, but neither of us are very good at social media. Never have been. So we're improving every day with that. We haven't pushed much because obviously the showroom's not open. It's very difficult to push massively when you haven't got the showroom open. But once the showroom's open, we're going to do things like Amanda with all the local coffee mornings or things like that we can do. And we want to like sponsor a roundabout in our local area so that our signs are on roundabouts and things like that is what we're looking at with pushing our showroom. But we're quite fortunate that where we are on a high street, so we do get quite a lot of people walking past anyway. So hopefully that's really going to work in our favour.
And I suppose along with opening a showroom like what you're trying to do and continue to do your usual projects, there just isn't really enough time to then add being a social media executive to your repertoire of endless skills, is there? Especially when you're sort of trying to find a work-life balance as well.
Yeah, so I don't have a work-life balance. Obviously, Joe said that he stepped away from doing CAD drawings and things like that. I'm doing design drawings until 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm on the tools. I'm on the tools today. Obviously, you have the nice thing now that you're like that little bit further than us. So you've got other people that can that do their job, and obviously you've got that. But obviously at the moment we don't. So I'm a full-time mum.
You have to go through that phase. You have to go through that phase.
Yeah. So I'm a full-time mum. I've got a 2.5-year-old that I send to nursery 2 days a week. I'm on the tools. I'm helping in the showroom as much as I physically can. We've got customers obviously still coming down to look at samples and things like that. We are doing everything at the moment. And I can't remember the last time you kind of go to bed before 12 o'clock because you're still working. And although it's hard, the rewards are fantastic. The way that the customers know how much you respect and deal with their ideas. And you get a lot of customers that are really appreciative of all the hard work that you put into it.
Would you say that that's similar to what you've seen, Amanda, as well?
Yeah, I think we're obviously a little bit further ahead than you, Olivia, but the time the work-life balance does come, although I don't think it ever comes completely, but we've got 2 young children as well. And for us now, we're around for school pickups and all of that kind of thing, which is really great. But at the same time, we are doing exactly the same, still doing design work in the evenings. But we have we have got the space to try and maximize our work-life balance and trying to get everything done in the daytime. It's just when things hit, and just the way of the world is that, we'll end up getting 2 or 3 jobs in at once to quote for and design, which we'll never be able to get a handle on. So yes, it's a good problem to have, but yeah, we're the same. It's trying to squeeze everything in, but the balance is much better than it was before for us. So yeah, very happy.
Just slowly, as you get the right people around you, it just eases that pressure every time. And then you realise, how did I manage before that,
And we just spoke about marketing a minute ago, but I just wanted to come back to that, Joe. You're in a really unique position where you're not opening a business for the first time, obviously. You've got a really well-established business. But how do you go about drumming up interest in a second showroom when you've already got your first one? Like, are you sort of targeting the local area in any way? Or?
We will. If I'm honest, we're really crap with marketing. I always say we're very organic because that's just an excuse for not being very good at it at all. But we've got a really good, obviously, base of interior designers and architects and stuff that we work with. Basically, it's going to be a bit of a physical sort of posting leaflets through doors in the area. It's on a good high street with a really good footfall. And actually, when I've been working there myself, fitting some of the stuff, I've had a lot of people asking what the shop's going to be. So people are already interested. What we found with this showroom when we first opened, because there's restaurants near it, at night time people appearing into the windows, and everyone's very interested. So it was good that there was that nighttime footfall around as well, because people have got the time to wander around. The new showroom's opposite quite a nice pub, and it's actually next to a coffee place, and it's a really vibrant little road. So I'm actually hoping that a lot of footfall, a lot of sort of people will just naturally see what we're doing. And then we need to, once we've got it open, we do a soft opening, we'll sort of think of some way of getting the locals in. I like to speak to all the local estate agents as well. So there's quite a few estate agents on the road. We'll get them all involved, get them to an opening as well. And once they know about us as well, if you get on with them, it's all about meeting people and getting a good relationship with people. And once they remember you, naturally the estate agents, if someone's selling a house has got a crap kitchen in, they'll pass us on. We're on the same road. It's nice and easy. There's also a bathroom showroom on the same road and a tile showroom. So if I can get them all in, then there's already sort of ready-made
All
customers
happy
there, really, as
families.
far as I'm concerned. Exactly.
That's all really interesting to hear. When we talk in a couple of months, what do you guys anticipate is going to be changing, or what do you think you're going to have that's new to sort of talk about then? We can start with you first if you want, Amanda. So what's in the pipeline for you over the coming weeks and months?
Well, obviously, we're going to have these changes coming through in the showroom itself, which is really exciting. We've got the awards, the KBB Awards, which we've been nominated for. So that is super duper exciting. We can't wait for that.
And thank you for plugging that so I don't have to as well.
That's all right. You can pay me later. But for us, it's just trying to expand with word of mouth and just get more and more projects on board. Really, we're looking within the next few months. We'll be looking to employ somebody as well to help us manage the showroom, as that's probably one of our biggest challenges, is trying to be in 10 places at once. So having somebody that with some experience that can help us. And we're very much with the local marketing, that's kind of our angle, is everything that we source is as local as possible. All of our suppliers are as local as possible as well. So it's just kind of expanding on that, really, and looking to the future. So yeah, very exciting.
Onwards and upwards.
Yes, absolutely.
What about you, Olivia? If you had a crystal ball that you could look 3 months into the future, what would it look like?
Retired. That would be good. As I said, hopefully we'll have a booming showroom and the showroom will be open, and I'll be probably even more stressed than I already am, but quite sharpish. We'll probably look at employing somebody else, even if it's part-time in the showroom, just to help us a little bit. As I said, we're already looking at expanding the fitting side, so having somebody else in the showroom would be a real big help, especially as obviously I'll be working 6 days a week to start with. And we're looking at an industrial unit for more deliveries and things like that, because at the moment we don't have masses of space for our deliveries. Obviously, everybody starts from somewhere. We're still quite at the beginning of our journey, so we're looking at expanding that way as well. But hopefully it'll just be open and successful and slightly less stressed than we are now.
Fingers crossed. And what about you, Joe?
I would say hopefully a couple of awards from you guys next week.
If we're lucky, fingers crossed.
If we're lucky. And then I guess really just getting the new showroom open, getting the doors open, getting all the furniture fitted, and actually having something to show everyone. It seems like we've been talking about it far too long now, and it'd be nice to actually get it open. The little glimpses of bits we've got going on already in there are really nice. So we just need to get it to a finished state, really. And that'll be the most exciting thing. I think within that time span, we'll have the doors open and start sort of getting some customers in.
Brilliant. Well, I look forward to seeing all of that come to fruition and much more, and everyone will be less stressed and happier and have much more time in the day.
Let's hope so.
Brilliant. Well, thank you all for talking with me today.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.